Number 9. Tina E. Jones. A lot of people don't know that the dark web exists, and most who do don't understand what it is or what kind of content can be found there. To sum it up, it's called the dark web because it contains information that shouldn't be brought up in the light of day. It's a scary place, and you'll soon realize why. In 2018, a 31-year-old woman named Tina E. Jones was accused of hiring an assassin through the dark web. She wanted someone to finally kill the wife of the man she'd been sleeping with. The registered nurse wired at least $12,000 worth of Bitcoin to the hitman for the job. Apparently, her secret lover had called off their affair, so she wanted to get revenge. Tina likely wanted the man to be in as much pain as she was by killing his wife. This plot was uncovered by the popular CBS show called 48 Hours. The program had been researching dark web murder services when they were informed of Tina's intentions, and so they contacted the local police in her town of Des Plaines. The authorities soon confronted Tina about her plans, and she inevitably admitted to what she'd done. The court found her guilty of attempted murder and sentenced her to 12 years behind bars. Once she gets out, Jones will have to complete 3 years of probation. The ironic thing is, the website she paid the killer through was a giant scam. Her former lover's life was never in danger, and her jealousy cost her thousands of dollars and years of her life. Number 8. Drug trafficking. In March 2022, 25-year-old Bintan Lay from Brockton was found guilty of operating a widespread drug trafficking ring through the dark web. Along with an 8-year prison sentence, Lay was ordered to give back over $2 million in Bitcoin, marking the U.S. Attorney Office's first official cryptocurrency forfeiture. For those unfamiliar, Bitcoin and other crypto are forms of digital currency that exist without the restrictions of government control or powerful banks. People are able to pay for goods and services directly with one another using crypto. Because of this, the value of a singular Bitcoin often fluctuates based on the market of those using it. Lay's drug ring mostly took payments via digital currencies. His enterprise mostly offered substances like ecstasy, Xanax, and more. For distribution purposes, Lay and his co-conspirators founded a vendor website that they called Eastside High. Once they got payments from clients around the globe, Lay would mail the goods to customers. On March 27, 2019, the young man took a risk and met up with some potential clients at a hotel. They said they were willing to exchange about $200,000 worth of Bitcoin, which was 59 Bitcoin at the time. After the transfer was complete, the customers revealed that they were actually undercover investigators. When the raid was complete, authorities had obtained over 19 kilos of MDMA, 10,000 pills of Xanax, and much more. Number 7. DDW. Another head of an illegal dark web market was uncovered in 2022. Deutschland im Deep Web, or DDW, was overseen by a 22-year-old Bavarian student. The young man's name has yet to be revealed. The illegal platform was originally started in 2013 as a simple forum for users to discuss IT security problems, but this quickly turned into something much more sinister. By 2017, DDW had evolved into a source to buy hard-to-come-by items, like illegal drugs or weapons. About 23,000 accounts were registered on the site, which received nearly 6 million visits every month. While many people from shady circles knew what DDW was used for, it operated under the disguise of its original forum. However, this routine changed in 2018, when 2 different versions of the popular market popped up on the dark web. The new sites ran with the motto, "No control, everything allowed." A year later, the second version was shut down without any obvious explanation, and just a few days later, another DDW started, marketing itself as the official heir to the first platform. Then on October 25th of 2022, investigators finally locked on to who they believed was running the show. To put it into perspective just how dangerous DDW was, the Munich shooter from 2016 obtained his weapon on the forum. The gun he purchased was then used in a mass shooting that killed 10 people. The suspect could face up to 10 years in prison for his hand in running the platform. Since his arrest was so recent, there's still little information out regarding the case's current standings. Number 6. Torture. A lot of mistakes are made during teenage years, whether that be getting into a bad group of friends, not studying hard enough, or visiting the dark web. In 2020, two 17-year-old Italian teens paid with Bitcoin to see disgusting abuse and murder on the dark web. The website that they accessed even had a feature enabling its users to pay more to pick what kind of torture they would watch. More often than not, the victims of the beatings were innocent children. Basically, if you could imagine it, they could pay to see it, and the content was truly disturbing. The teenagers were just 2 out of many arrests made by authorities as this website was further investigated. The search operation was given the name Delirio, as more and more unsettling images and video clips were discovered. About 25 individuals have been linked to the dark web torture platform so far. As alarming as it seems to most, websites like this are only created because there's a market for it. Complete sickos all over the world are willing to pay insane amounts of cash to see this stuff. Hopefully, as more information is given to the public, we'll see further arrests and maybe even an end to the torture. Number 5. Adrian Frye. As you might have guessed by now, there's not a lot of good that goes on in the dark web. And the 2018 case of Adrian Frye from Somerset, New York is no better. The accounts clerk from the UK found himself smack dab in the center of a massive FBI investigation after news of him hiring a hitman began to circulate. Mr. Frye had gone online to a dark web assassination platform in order to secure himself a trained killer. But who did he want to take out? Well, apparently it was his ex-girlfriend. He was allegedly willing to pay someone $5,400 to have her silenced for good. Mr. Frye and Alexis Stern had been together for a little over 2 years before breaking up in 2017. Apparently, Frye wanted to keep things going, but Stern was ready to cut ties for good. Their long-distance relationship mainly took place over the internet. While Stern was in Minnesota, her boyfriend was across seas. After calling things off, Frye tried to win her back multiple times. He'd often call her over Skype, which was what they usually used to communicate with, and he tried to convince her to take him back. When his ex finally admitted that she'd met someone else, Frye knew they'd never get back to how things were. Not long after, Stern was called to her local police station and was given some unsettling news. Authorities told her that someone on the dark web who went by the username Mastermind365 wanted her dead. This person used a website for killers called Camorra Hitmen. When investigators asked the young woman if she knew who could possibly want her dead, she said that it had to have been her ex, Adrian Frye. When the accused got word of the allegations made against him, he was completely stunned. He said it was insane to think he'd hire someone to kill Stern. And as of 2021, little information on this case has been available. It's uncertain if enough evidence was gathered to definitively pin the plot to kill on Frye or not, but many believe it was him. Have you ever personally visited the dark web? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button. Number 4. Paul Johnson. From 2015 to 2017, a man from Leicestershire, England ran a multi-million-dollar network for drug trafficking off of the dark web. Partnered with his beloved wife Leah, Paul Johnson made a fictitious company to operate under. Through this legitimate and registered business, he obtained 3 separate properties. In these different facilities, Paul would receive drug shipments which he would then turn around and market on the internet. Towards the end of his criminal dealings, Mr. Johnson moved his enterprise into his own home. It mainly ran out of the basement in order to keep suspicions as low as possible. But that didn't work out as he'd hoped. He had a job at KFC, but his lifestyle was outrageously lavish considering the payout you'd expect someone to get from a fast food job. Authorities soon caught on to him and got a warrant to search the man's property. While there, police discovered Johnson carrying out multiple cryptocurrency transactions for drug deals. After this, he was formally charged with trafficking as well as electronic fraud, and Leah was accused of money laundering. While she may not have been bearing the brunt of the illegal activity, she was well aware of what her husband was doing, making her complicit in his crimes. A court of law found both of the Johnsons guilty of their respective crimes. Paul was sentenced to serve 8 years behind bars, and Leah was given 2 years. It just goes to show that you never know what people are doing after dark. The cashier at your local KFC might just be running a dark web drug trafficking ring out of his basement, and you wouldn't even know it. Number 3. Peter Scully. In 2015, a man named Peter Scully was arrested. After moving to the Philippines 4 years prior in order to escape allegations of fraud, the convict started creating CP to sell online to high bidders over the dark web. 2 of Scully's innocent victims were a set of 10 and 11-year-old cousins. The cousins later recalled how they were kept prisoner and chained up for 5 days straight. While Scully had them, they were subjected to sexual assault, strangulation, and labor. They were even forced to dig up dirt for their own graves. After all of this, the videos were apparently released to viewers. He wasn't acting alone either. Scully and his girlfriend, Lovely Margallo, both participated in the treatment of these girls. The extreme abuse and trauma seen in the footage captured is enough to leave even the toughest minds scarred for life. After his arrest, Scully was seen smiling walking into his court appearance. During the trial, he often laughed and made light of the terrible things he'd done. Because of this, he received a life sentence in prison. While he was already serving the time, more charges were placed against Scully as information came to light. An additional 129 years were added to his sentence as revelations were made. Margallo also received a life sentence for her role in the abuse. Several other individuals involved in the production of the content were imprisoned as well. Number 2. Daniel K. In your lifetime, you might have heard something along the lines of, "Once it's on the internet, it's there forever." Well, whether you believe it or not, it's true. Basically, every single piece of information you've ever given to a website, online platform, or social media page has been saved in some database or deep dark corner of the web. The Real Deal operated as a deep web market and service that sold the necessary tools for assessing login information or hacking into the computers of the United States government. The man accused of running such a notorious site is Daniel K., a British national. His platform was also used to obtain details of bank accounts, credit cards, and any private information you could dream of. On top of this, users could purchase illegal items like weapons, drugs, and more if they chose to. Running this platform was just one of the many crimes Mr. K performed through his computer. In October 2016, the man was somehow able to cut off the internet for half of the country of Liberia. This action basically crippled essential services like hospitals and schools. After pleading guilty to this crime, he served a little over 2 years in prison. For the allegations connected to him supposedly running The Real Deal, K was arraigned by the United States Department of Justice in October of 2022. If all goes according to plan, Mr. K will have to face the consequences of everything he's done. Number 1. Kelly Harper. In February 2021, 37-year-old Kelly Harper from Wisconsin confessed her crimes to the FBI. She claimed that she tried to have an unnamed person killed after hiring a hitman on the dark web. The mother of 4 apparently paid well over $5,000 to get this done. In her bid to the assassin, she wrote down simple yet chilling instructions. The target needs to be killed. Harper then included a short physical description of the target, his vehicle, and even his cell phone number. The FBI first heard of the plot a month before Kelly gave her confession. The victim himself and his girlfriend were told of the killer after a team of journalists in their area saw the posts on the dark web. Kelly was apparently trying to kill her ex-husband. It didn't take long for authorities to take the woman into custody. After a thorough investigation, Kelly Harper was found guilty of attempted murder and was sentenced to 6 years in prison by a Wisconsin court. Thanks for watching today's video. Which of these stories disturbed you the most? Let us know down in the comments, and be sure to subscribe to see our latest videos. We'll see you next time on Bad Badger.